Hello, 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 hello. Oh, we're gonna wait. I'm going to wait a couple minutes so that we are to wait if anyone is joining me for a new read along and for the reading of the second chapter. So let's see who, if anyone, is joining. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes. We are now live. So let's see. So I'm going to start maybe talking a little bit about the book while I'm waiting if anyone is joining. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the chapter 1, the one that we read yesterday. So while we are waiting for another minute, maybe. Yeah, now I'm going to do a quick recap of chapter 1. So we are reading the adaptation of this novel, Girl, Woman, Other, from Bernardine Evaristo. She is a British writer, and she's from London, if I'm not mistaken. And we read the first chapter yesterday, and this chapter is called Amma, which is the name of the main character in this chapter. And this woman is a theater play director at the National Theatre in London, and she is a Black lesbian woman. So we don't know exactly how old she is, but in the 80s, she was a young comedian. She wanted to become an actress, and so it seems like she's probably 40s or 50s, something like that, because she has a daughter called Yazz that we start to get to know towards the end of the chapter. And she is the main character in chapter 2. So that's about it for Yazz, and we learn about Amma. So we learn about her relationship, her friendship with Dominic, and Dominic is her great friend, and they both started. They met during an audition, and they started a company, a theater company, because they were tired of getting only roles where they would play, in which they would play or the slaves or the servants. So they decided to create their own theater company. And yeah, so this is what we learn here in this chapter. And she talks about that issue, about assumptions that people and the theater world has on Black people at the time in the 80s, and how we see that now it's when it's in the present moment. So it does a little bit of flashback during in the chapter, and then back to the present, where she has been nominated, Amma has been nominated as a the new director, how is it, artistic director of the National Theatre. And there is a lot about how she navigates with this new job that she gets, and the views, the perceptions of her friends, and how she sort of the verb was sell out. Her friend, I forgot his name. He says, "Oh, you sold yourself because when she was younger, she had values that basically she is now part of the rich class, and she is not someone that is more that's going to make theater available to everyone." And it's actually funny when you say, "Oh, why are you not playing in library?" Well, I'm a bit tired of playing in libraries where people are falling asleep during the plays. So I think that's what she says, yeah. So yeah, there is this duality of what people expect from you and how you see yourself and how you evolve from um, your younger self and your values and your ideal. And when life when when you have to deal with life issues, basically like paying your rent, or being able to support your daughter or anything, so sometimes you have to put your ground values and moral ideas a bit on the side to be able to live, of course, and afford living in London, especially. It doesn't go that far, but it's yes, that's about the chapter. And oops, just a technical issue. I completely forgot to plug my microphone so that they're going to be a better sound. So I'm sorry about this quick, yeah, technical issue.
So yeah, I think now I'd rather to do that now, so that at least on the replay for the YouTube video, the sound will be much better. Here we go. That's nice now. Okay, so let's start chapter 2. Okay. Yazz, so Yazz, remember, it's the name of Amma's daughter. Yazz sits in the middle of the audience and waits for the play to begin. She would rather be sitting somewhere in the back, just in case the play is another embarrassment. So she's watching. Yeah, I forgot to mention that the first scene that we read is Amma getting into the theater and waiting for the start of the play, because she created a play. The name was where was it? The Last Amazon of Dahomey. And so it seems like her daughter is attending the play. Two members of her university squad, Waris and Courtney, are sitting on either side of her. Yazz wants to be a journalist when she finishes university and is studying English literature. Waris is studying politics and wants to join the government to speak up for Black people. Courtney is studying American studies because she likes African American men and wants to move to America one day to find a husband. Yazz looks around the theater. She can see Mum's friends seated in the audience. She can see Dad too. He does not like to be called Dad. You can call me Roland, he said to her one day. No, Yazz replied. You're my dad, Dad. He's dressed in an expensive suit, and Yazz can see him looking around the theater, trying to see if anyone has recognized him from television. Dad is a famous author and a professor at the University of London. He used to be a great guy, Mum once told her, before he became famous. Now all he cares about is being in front of a camera. He's sold out. You see, she is saying that the same comments that she got from her friend. She is saying that she is saying the same to her, not her previous husband. They were friends, and well, they made a child together. It seems, I can't remember exactly, but with the original story, but she has the same kind of judgment about him, about her friend Roland. Yazz's dad. Yazz thinks they have both sold out, especially now Mum has a play on at the National Theatre. It's true. It's an abbreviation. Just Kenny is sitting next to Dad. Yazz likes Kenny, mostly because he gives her a lot of money on her birthday every year, but also because Kenny is a nice person. And Kenny is her dad's, because her dad is gay, and I think they kind of had an agreement with Yazz's mom. So Yazz's dad and Kenny are a couple. So it's her stepdad, probably, or something like that. Yazz likes Kenny, mostly because he gives her a lot of money on her birthday every year, but also because Kenny is a nice person. Dad and Kenny have a lot of money, unlike Mom. Once she has graduated and is working, Yazz is going to persuade Mom to sell the house and move to a smaller home. With the remaining money, Yazz will be able to buy a small one-bedroom flat. So Yazz is making her whole grand plan for her future, independent, with Mom's money. Well, we'll see if this happens. It's a good idea, isn't it, Mom? Yazz asked her once. Isn't it that what moms are supposed to do? Help their children get their own homes? Mom did not say anything. Yazz hopes the play will be good. She does not want to have to listen to Mom complain for weeks about the reviews if it is bad. She knows exactly what Mom will say. Hi, Kitty. Thank you for joining. Hi, Rafael. Hello. I started reading chapter 2. Yes, I don't know if yesterday you can rewatch the beginning of the live. Hi. You can rewatch the beginning of the live. Bonjour. And so I'm reading chapter 2, which is mainly about Yazz. If you remember yesterday, Katie, Yazz is Amma's daughter. Okay, so yesterday, if refresh your mind a little bit, Amma is the main character in chapter 1, and now in chapter 2, it's more about Yazz, her daughter. So here, the scene quickly. So I don't know if you remember, but yesterday in chapter 1, Amma is waiting, is at the National Theatre, and she created a play, and the play is about to go on at the theatre, and Yazz, her daughter, is in the audience, and now she's sitting next to her dad, her biological father, because her mom, remember, her mom is lesbian, and her dad is also homosexual, and he's with his partner is called Kenny. And Yazz likes him very much because these two, so her dad and Kenny, are very kind of, they don't say they're rich, but they have a lot of money, and she likes them for that. And yes, so that's where I was. And so Yazz is at university, and she is planning that she wants her mom to sell, because her mom has less money than her dad, and she's planning that she wants her mom to sell the house, and buy a smaller house, so she can buy her a little flat, 1-bedroom flat, in London, so she can be independent. So, but her mom is not quite happy. She didn't say anything when she mentioned that idea. And yes, this is where I was, basically. Okay, so if you have any question, let me know. Don't hesitate to write a comment. Okay, where was I? So it's a good idea, isn't it, Mom? Yaz asked her once. Isn't it that what mums are supposed to do? Help their children get their own homes? Mum did not say anything. Yaz hopes the play will be good. She does not want to have to listen to Mum complain for weeks about the reviews if it is bad. She knows exactly what Mum will say. They're trying to ruin my career. It's because I'm black. I'm a black woman, and they don't know what I've had to go through over the last 40 years. If I had written a play about drugs or slave, they would have liked it. Okay, so this is what Amma would say, apparently, from her daughter's point of view. And drugs, well, it's quite known words. It's for just, yeah, any like drugs, yeah, sorry, yeah, so she's saying that, basically. Sorry. Yazz has heard it all before, and she does not want to hear it again. Yazz thought she would find love at university, but so far she has only found her squad. So now in the text there is a line, so it seems like we are now back. Maybe there is a flashback or something, taking us in Yazz's daily life at university. Okay. Ninette is the third member of the squad. So squad is the word for group of people. And there is this word mate in English, which means friends. It's slang expression, and squad is also sort of a trendy expression, or like teenage expression, and not teenage, but like it's another word for a group of people, group of friends. Ninette is the third member of the squad. She is Egyptian and is engaged to Kadim, who is studying in America. They're having an arranged marriage. Ninette did not want to marry Kadim at first, but then her parents told her they would stop giving her any money, so Ninette agreed to the marriage. Okay. Luckily, Ninette and Kadim discovered that they actually liked each other, So that's fortunate. She's lucky. They are both lucky, I would say. Waris is also dating someone, a Somali Norwegian boy called Einar, who she met in secondary school. So Waris is a girl. Seems like it. Yeah. A boy. Yeah. Waris and Einar both like Japanese cartoons called anime. Waris likes to draw as a hobby and is working on a cartoon about a female Somali superhero who hunts men who hurt women. Okay, so he's kind of inspired by his girlfriend. Waris is Muslim and wears a hijab. Hijab is this veil, the long veil. She also loves makeup and never leaves her room without any on. Waris thinks she is ugly without makeup. And I think that's something that a lot of young women can relate to, with the influence of social media and magazines, but mainly social media. Yeah, so she doesn't leave the house without makeup. Waris is that's silly, says Yazz, whenever Harris complains about her looks. Somali women are the most beautiful in the world, and that includes you too, Waris. Waris is beautiful, but Yazz sees the horrible looks people give her when they walk around town. So it's my hijab, Waris told her once. Life was different before 9/11. My mother told me that before, people were just interested in people who look like me. Now they see the hijab and think I've got a bomb. It's horrible. My grandmother is too scared to leave the house in case someone tries to hurt her. And we see how relevant this is still today, and how assumptions people have, and how tricky we are, how the environment around Muslim and the society and governments behave, or the media sometimes portray Muslim people and immigrants and all that. So yeah, that gives a different point of view. Yeah, here. And is too scared to leave the house. Now, when Yazz sees people glaring at Waris as they walk past, Yazz glares right back to defend her friend. Courtney is the fourth member of the squad. Courtney is white. They met her one evening when Yazz, Waris, and Ninette were dancing to some Egyptian music that Ninette had introduced them to. Please, can you turn the music down? Said Courtney once. Yazz opened the door. I'm trying to sleep. Lots of people are playing music in this building, said Yazz. She put her hands on her hips and looked at Courtney carefully. Why are you only telling us? Ninette did not wait for Courtney to answer. Instead, she invited her inside Yazz's bedroom and played a song for her. Do you like it? Asked Ninette. Yeah, said Courtney. I like this fa-la-la music and I like belly dancing. Aren't you offended by that? Yazz asked Ninette. Stop it, Yazz, said Ninette. Then she began explaining the song to Courtney and showed her how to dance to it. That night, they all fell asleep in Yazz's bedroom. In the morning, they got breakfast together. As Courtney ate, she told them that she had grown up on a farm. Then she looked up at Waris and asked, why do you wear a hijab? Yazz expected Waris to be angry at the question, but she was not. I wear it because of my culture and my politics, said Waris, in a surprisingly calm voice. Anyway, my mother told me I don't need to explain myself to anyone. Oh, said Courtney. Sorry, I was only asking because I didn't know. Cool, said Waris. Well, now you know. Well, now you do. Yazz decided that she liked Courtney. She did not know much about her cultures, but she seemed nice and like she wanted to learn. Courtney continues to surprise Yazz. Once, Yazz tried to teach Courtney about privilege and white privilege. And that's a concept. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Katie, I think you're still there. I don't know if it's a concept that you're familiar with, but it's something that I've learned as well through this book, through other books that was written by Black people and other, and online as well. I educated myself like that as well. And I read this book called what's the name? I forgot. I have to find this book again. Why I Don't Talk About Race Anymore. I think that's the title or something. And I read this book and that was a complete revelation or a big discovery, a big enlightenment for me in terms of how we are unconsciously racist sometimes, and the way, because of the way we think and how we perceive Black people or people from from the north of Africa, or yeah. So this idea of privilege is something that she talked about. And when I look back, when I realized when she was giving examples in her book, she's a British writer who wrote this book, and she's a Black female writer. And it was very enlightening to see and revealing to see, oh, but this is sometimes what I say to people, or what I think, or so. It was very interesting to see from a Black person point of view, because when you don't have, personally, I don't have many Black people friends, and so it's not always easy to see, to understand whether, or to realize about what you're saying, and that is what you're saying, it can be offensive. And yeah, it was really interesting to see, oh wow, that's actually true, that's something that I've experienced. So let me know if it's something that you experienced as well. or if you're watching this on replay, because it's something that now I've become more aware, and I think twice before I speak, basically. Yeah. So let me know if you had an experience or something similar. So you're white, so about privilege. You're a white girl who is friends with brown girls. That means you lose a bit of your white privilege, but you're still more privileged than the rest of us. So don't forget that, Yazz told her. Your father is a professor and your mother and your... Oh yeah, Yazz told her. Your father is a... So now it's Courtney talking. Your father is a professor and your mother is a famous theater director, said Courtney. I think that makes you very privileged. I'm from a very poor family, and I live in an area where it's normal to get your first job in a factory at 16. So here, it's interesting to see Courtney's point of view coming from a poor family, white family. Yes, said Yazz, but I'm black. That means my life is harder than yours. So you still have more privilege than me. It doesn't matter who my parents are. I don't agree, said Courtney. You should read Roxane Gay's book, Bad Feminist. She talks about privilege and how trying to measure it and compare each other's privilege is a bad idea. Anyway, said Courtney. Yazz was shocked and impressed. How did Courtney know about Roxane Gay? Anyway, said Courtney, I only like black men and I will probably have mixed race babies. So I will lose some of my white privilege then, won't I? Yazz did not know how to reply to that. So that little conversation between these two is very interesting here, and Yazz is actually surprised to see how that Courtney is actually educated on that matter to some certain level. Yeah. Yazz invited, so we're now back to the present. Yazz invited Courtney to come and stay at her house the summer after their first year. Courtney had only been to London once before, so Yazz showed her around. Courtney enjoyed mostly because it was the first time she had seen so many black men in one place. The men seemed to like her as well. Yazz noticed the way they looked at Courtney as they walked past. They did not look at her like that. And Yazz did not like how they made her feel. Later, she and Courtney went to visit Ninette, who lived in a large house in a very rich part of London. A servant answered the door. Okay, so if you have a servant, then you're super rich. A servant answered the door to them and let them inside Ninette's house. Ninette's house was huge and decorated with expensive looking items. An item is a thing. It can be curtains, it can be a vase, it can be furnitures. That's an item. They waited in a large hallway with white stone floors and Hollywood stairs. Hollywood stairs, I'm not quite sure. I'm not a decorator or a designer. This is maybe a type of stairs, maybe that goes a big stairs. I don't know. Until Ninette came downstairs holding a small white dog in her arms. Nenet's wealth made Yazz feel sick. The three women went for a walk in the park and discussed university and what they planned to do for the summer. Yazz and Courtney were going to spend it getting ready for their second year and working at their summer jobs. What about you, Ninette? Asked Yazz. Are you going to spend the summer studying for a second year? No, said Ninette. She smiled like she had a secret. I don't need to. Why? Promise you won't tell anyone? Especially Waris. You can't tell Waris, but I don't write any of my own essays. Ooh, I pay for someone else to do it for me, so I don't need to study. Yazz could not believe it. That's cheating. It's not cheating, said Ninette. Other people do it too. That doesn't make it right, said Yazz. Yazz's opinion of Ninette changed after that. She was a lazy little rich girl who did not have to work as hard as her, Waris, or even Courtney. Yazz is sitting in the audience for Mum's play, thinking about her squad. She wonders if they will still be friends once they finish university. She is not sure she can be friends with someone like Ninette, even if she is a brown girl. The lights go down and Yazz sits back in her seat. The last Amazon of Dahomey is starting. Right, so this is the end of chapter 2. So let me know what you think about this chapter, and what reflection do you have on Yaz's relationship with her friends, and how and the different social class they're coming from, and the assumptions that they have about one another. So it's a very interesting portrait here about those mainly three women, because so there are 4 friends, but we talk mainly about Yazz, Ninette, and Courtney. So let me know what you think, and let's see if any other questions can be interesting. Oh, so if you remember, what's the word that she used to call her group of friends at university? If you remember the word, what was the word? Ninette is having an arranged marriage. What does this mean? Arranged marriage, yeah. Waris wants to draw a cartoon about a female Somali superhero. Look online, what is the difference between hero and superhero? Anyway, so yeah, do you remember what was the word for a group of friends? Let me know in the comments. And what was the other question? Oh yeah, and what's the meaning of arranged marriage? But that's yeah, another interesting aspect about arranged marriage, where you see that it's still something. She says brown girl, but she's got, yes, Ninette has a Somalian background, so we can see that it's very present, and in Indian families as well, arranged marriage. it's still very present. And I know that there are lots of charities and foundation, group of organization who help young women to not being married, especially sometimes they're married at a very young age. I remember when I was working in the UK and as a teacher of French, and my colleagues and well, the safeguarding person would tell us that sometimes you've got those young girls of when they reach the age of 14 or something, they leave school, and sometimes it's because they're sent back to the parents' country and to get married, and then they come back after that, I think, or something. And yes, they are the British schools are very very aware or very attentive to those girls, or they're very not suspicious, but they are very careful when there is a girl who leaves the school in the middle of the year, when it sounds a little bit suspicious. So they just call the parents to just check in, but yeah, because they know that this is happening, and it's something that I got to experience when I was in the UK, not really here in France. So yeah, it's just to say that it's something that it's still in 2023, 24. It's still happening for those young girls who don't really have a choice. Luckily for Nanette, she's wealthy, but her parents are wealthy, and it seems like the boy she's going to marry, is a nice boy. So yeah, we'll see what we learn later on. Chapter 3 is about Dominique. So Dominique, if you remember, she is Amma's friend, best friend, I would say. And we learn right at the start of chapter 1 that she is in America. She moved to America. So let's see tomorrow what we learn about Dominique and what she's doing and what she become. Who knows? So if you have any questions, Katie, or anyone who is watching my videos, I would love to hear your comments, your suggestions about my readings and those live events. And of course, on Saturday as well, quick reminder before I leave. So this Saturday, I'm doing a Zoom meetup, which is part of the membership of the book club. So the idea is to give you the opportunity to speak with me and with the others, to speak and practice your English and exchange your ideas and discuss the book and also other readings, and just share your experience as well. related to the topics of the book, or you know, never sometimes how conversation they just go somewhere unexpected. So this is on Saturday morning. I host those Zoom live. It's on Zoom, yes. So as soon as you register as a member, you will receive an email with all the details and the Zoom link and everything. Yes. So I saw, Katie, that I think it's you who joined the mail list. I don't know if you wanted to register to the book club. Let me know, because as I'm not a tech savvy, really, my website, the checkout page wasn't exactly really set up. So, oh, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. But let me know if you have any questions on the registration. I think there is probably a delay. I don't know about with the live. Anyway, so let me know if you have any questions on about the book club and the membership. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Thank you so much.